Hi and welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Amy and I am a knitter from the UK, specifically from Wales, and I am the knitter behind Knitting Matters. I love to talk about all matters relating to knitting because knitting matters to me. And today I want to give you a podcast update on my projects, what I've been working on, my finished items, and crucially, did I get through airport security with the needle set from the last episode? So stay tuned. Okay, so first but foremost, before we get into the detail of anything else, I want to talk about what I'm wearing. So I touched on this in my previous video. This is the Anker's top by PetiteKnit, and I knit it using a yarn that I had in stash for a really significant period of time, which is the Rowan Cash Soft DK. I purchased this on eBay. Someone was having a D-stash. I only had 8 balls of it and they come in 50-gram balls. So I had 800 grams of this yarn. It is a cashmere, wool and acrylic blend. And it is very similar in touch to some of the more popular yarns over here, like in the UK, like Debbie Bliss or Sublime have a very similar yarn, and Rowan do have other yarns that are very similar to this that they've sort of relaunched, but this specific one I believe has been discontinued. Anyway, I'm off on a tangent. So it is a double knit weight yarn. I was not sure if I was going to have enough to finish, so I did a little bit of down to about the yoke. I did a tiny bit after I split for sleeves. And then I knit the sleeves because I just wanted to make sure that I could get the most out of the yarn that I had. So I did that, carried on knitting, and when I cast off the bottom, I had about 2 grams of yarn left and I felt so joyous. I felt so satisfied that I had got all but 2 grams of yarn out of my stash. And then I found this one. So I now have 52 grams of this yarn left in my stash. Now I'm not too worried about it because this has been a really gorgeous yarn to work with. I have really enjoyed using it. I have grown a little bit too comfortable with wet splicing yarns, and this one is superwash, so I had a lot of ends to weave in, which I have grown accustomed to not having to weave in so many ends, but I don't dislike weaving in ends. To me, it's just part of the process. It's part of knitting and I enjoy it all the same. So yeah, to cut a long story short, I have one more ball. I will probably turn this into a pair of mittens, I think, at Christmas. There'll be a lovely Christmas gift, I think, maybe from me to me. But I think my mum would enjoy them as well. So I specifically have my eye on the songbird mittens. So I think if I were to get a sort of off-white or creamy colour, not dissimilar to the colour of the ball band here, I think that would make a lovely pair of songbird mittens. So yeah, gorgeous pattern. And I knitted this specifically with the intention of wearing it on the flight, and it worked beautifully. So I am that person that always is cold. Before anyone else feels the cold, I'm cold. And if I'm in company, if I think, oh, I'm not cold, the room is a nice temperature, this is quite pleasant, shortly everyone else will be saying how hot it is and they'll start to be taking their layers off. So I know that I run cold anyway, but I am always freezing on aeroplanes. I don't know what it is. I think it's because the aircon is just blasting. So I really wanted something that was going to keep me warm, and this did. It absolutely did. And even when we got to Cyprus the other end, it was breathing enough that I wasn't overly hot. And as soon as I got to a place where I was able to, I took it off. I had a tank top on underneath, and it just was perfect. I absolutely loved it. So I didn't really wear it while I was in Cyprus. It was about 30 to 35 degrees Celsius most days, and it didn't really drop below 20 degrees Celsius at night time, so it was a bit hot to wear it while I was there, but I wore it again on the flight home. And somebody recognised that it was a handmade. I bumped into another knitter on the flight and I was so excited. So she recognised the pattern, she complimented me on my knit, which I obviously was very flattered by. So if that was you, thank you very much. So yeah, it was perfect. We had a little chat about needles and about yarn and about what she was making and about what I was making, and then they came through with the refreshments trolley, so I had to get out of the aisle. But anyway, so yes, it was perfect. It was exactly what I wanted it to be. So I'm wearing it again today. I'm really enjoying wearing it. It's lovely. It's got just the right amount of stretch. It's got just the right amount of drape. I'm very, very happy with the project so far. So that is my first and only finished item of this week. So moving on to my works in progress. Since the last podcast, I haven't done a huge amount on my projects because I've been on holiday and I have been enjoying time with my family. But there have been some changes to some of my projects. So firstly, the Sunday socks. I think I can't remember where I was the last time I updated you. So I'm making my husband a pair of Sunday socks in Drops Lima. So I had some of this Drops Lima left over from I made a Louvre sweater in this orange colour. And I had a few balls left over. I tend to always buy a little bit extra than I need anyway. So he has tried these on. He absolutely loves them. He's so excited, so pleased with them, and he can't wait to have them. So all I've done is knit the, I don't know what you call it, I'm ready to start the leg. That's what it is. It's the leg. So I think I've just got about 1 centimetre more to go here, and then I can start knitting the heel flap. So hopefully that won't take me too much longer. And that is the second Sunday sock. So it's a really lovely pattern, knit with double knit weight yarn. I think the suggested yarn, oh, I don't think I've got the pattern to hand. I think the suggested yarn is Peer Gynt. I could be wrong on that, but if it's wrong, I'll pop it on the screen. It's double rib and it has this lovely stretch to it, which I appreciate. I've made it with Drops Lima, which is alpaca. Now my husband works outside a lot, especially in winter, so because alpaca is particularly superior for things like welly socks. Wellies is what he uses them with mostly, but workwear socks, because it can absorb up to 30% of its weight in water before you start to feel wet, but also it's very breathable, and it is reported to be warmer than sheep's wool. So alpaca is so Drops Lima, these hopefully will be very helpful for him in the winter. So yeah, lovely pattern, top down, knit in the round. My only criticism is that I just don't like knitting top down socks. I just much prefer knitting toe up. And I was going to knit this one toe up because I was like, okay, well, I've done the pattern once now, I know what to expect. But then I thought, oh, then the toes are going to be odd, and if they were my socks, that would annoy me. So I'm making this one top down as well. But I do plan on translating the pattern into toe up because I would like to make these again, certainly for him, but also I think I might quite like a pair as well. So yeah, no complaints other than that. That is just something that I quietly work away on. This is the perfect project for like swimming lessons, which I find myself at the swimming pool 2 or 3 times a week, most weeks, waiting for one or the other child to finish their swimming lessons. So this is the perfect project to take there because it's small, it's in a bag, you can just do 5 or 6 stitches, and then if you get, you know, called upon or distracted, you can put it down really easily, and it's really thoughtless knitting, mindless knitting. So I'm knitting them on 25 centimetre, these are the Knit Pro Nova 25 centimetre needles, or 9-inch circulars, yeah, 4 millimeters. So yeah, really great pen. I'm really enjoying making these, and actually I can see that I'm going to have lots of these on my needles. I think they might be a regular feature because I'm toying with the idea of making a few pairs as part of Christmas gifts, because I have lots of family that work outdoors or do a lot of walking. So yeah. The second whip that I have at the moment on my needles is the Dagmar Zipper by PetiteKnit. So it features this really beautiful intricate cable details with honeycomb down the middle and these more exaggerated open cables down the side, and moss stitch on the edges. So I am making it, I very nearly purchased the recommended yarn, which I can't even, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. I will absolutely butcher it. It's a beautiful name, I just can't say it. So instead I purchased, which is, so the qualities of it were that it was a Norwegian wool, Aran weight, just really gorgeous. And the ethos was, you know, natural. They came in these really beautiful natural colours. So, you know, not a huge selection of dyed colours. And I found an alternative that I think met all of the key components or the key criteria for that yarn, which is the West Yorkshire Spinners fleece. And I've gone for the Blue Face Leicester, and I've gone for the Aran weight. And I have gone for the shade 002, which is light brown. So I only have a teeny tiny little bit left on this ball. I've wound it all now, so but anyway, it's really gorgeous yarn and I'm really enjoying it. It's so soft and I'm really enjoying how it's working up. So I think when I first cast this on, I messed up up here somewhere, and I'd only done about 2 or 3 centimeters, so I frogged the whole thing back and started again. And then I carried on knitting, and with these decreases, they are supposed to happen every row. Usually increases happen every other row. So they'll happen on the right side, but not on the wrong side. This one, the increases happen on every row. So that I had to frog back because I'd made that mistake. So then I was doing increases on every row and I wasn't paying attention and I wasn't looking at the pattern, and I continued to do increases on every row. And when it got to about this big, and I'm not joking, it was about this big, I realized that I had done way too many increases and that I was supposed to have stopped. So I had to frog back again. So now I'm working, sorry, I probably should have said this is the back yoke. So now I'm just working straight. I've got a few more centimeters to go until I leave these on hold. And then I will pick up stitches on either of these, both of these sides for the fronts, for the shoulders. So it'll actually sit this way. I'll pick up stitches here and here and knit the fronts to come over. So that's where I'm at with this one. I really love the texture that this is creating. I really love the yarn. I really love the colour. I love how it feels. So I'm almost through my first ball of yarn here. They come in 100-gram skeins and I have wound them into cakes. So I only have this tiny bit left of my first one. So I think it's going quite far because I've almost finished the back yoke now. But yeah, I'm really, 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 really loving this project. I can't wait to wear this. I think come autumn, when, you know, the leaves start to go crispy and falling off the trees, and where, you know, when you go for like a winter's walk, or not even a winter's walk, the sun will be shining, but you come back and your cheeks are all red from where it's been windy. I just think I can imagine myself wearing this as an outer layer. So, you know, where it's cold enough to need an outer layer, but not, you don't need a coat. I think this is going to be absolutely perfect. So I haven't purchased a zip for it as yet, but I will in the fullness of time. And yeah, really enjoying this. I thoroughly recommend. I mean, it's not for the faint-hearted. You do have to concentrate. And I think that's where I've gone wrong, is that I was just assuming that I knew how to knit without having to look at the pattern. But it's really, really beautiful. I'm really, really enjoying it, and I would recommend it to anyone who likes the look of it. And I'm actually thinking that I might, so Blue Face Leicester sheep come in in their natural state, they come with 2 coloured fleece. So one is quite dark and chocolatey, rather like the colour of my hair, and the other is quite light, a creamy colour that you would typically associate with a white sheep. And so to make this colour, they've blended the two, so it has a blend of the dark and a blend of the light to make this colour, but it only comes in the 3 natural shades that the blue-faced Leicester sheep come in. Do sheep come in different colours? But the natural shades, the genetic possibilities is, I think, what I'm trying to say of the sheep. So this is a blend of the dark and the light. And I really am attracted to the idea of purchasing the dark, the chocolate, which I think is 003, so the like the chocolate brown colour, and making the Dagmar sweater. I'm quite attracted to that idea, but I haven't, I think I need to finish one Dagmar before I start getting notions of grandeur about knitting a wardrobe of Dagmars, because it might be, yeah, we'll just have to take it slow. We're just going to have to take it slow. So anyway, that is my progress on the Dagmar Zipper. Really, really beautiful project. Really, really enjoying that. So my next work in progress is the Whisk Jumper by Lisa Richardson. It is a Rowan pattern and it is made with the Rowan Haze yarn. So this is Midnight. Show you a picture of the pattern. So this is what it will look like. It's knit in the round, bottom up. So I have now finished the body up until where we will, the bottom of the yoke, where we'll insert the sleeves, not split for sleeves. I nearly said split for sleeves. I've knit so many top down sweatshirts recently that actually I'm having to really think about the terminology for a bottom up. But anyway, so I've knit the body up until the underarm, so we're ready to add the sleeves. And I think the last time, oops, goodness. I think the last time I updated you, I was waiting for my fixed circular needles to arrive so that I could do the sleeves, and they have since arrived. So I really enjoy knitting sleeves on these 25, either the cuffs usually on a 25 centimeter, but the main body of the sleeve on a 40 centimeter Knit Pro Novas. So they're my favorite needle, the Knit Pro Nova. So as I'm knitting more sweatshirts, I am slowly increasing my needle range. So I didn't have a 6mm, 6mm diameter, 40 centimeter length needle, which I do now. So I purchased that and I have knit this sleeve. It needs a couple more centimeters. So I finished the increases now and it needs a couple more centimeters before it's ready to be joined to the body. And of course I need to make another one. So that's my progress on this one. It works like when I actually sit down and pay attention, this like flies by. It goes so quickly. I think my problem is that I just much prefer knitting on my Dagmar, so I haven't been making this one, but I am really excited about the finished project. I feel like when I just try it on, you know, like, does anyone else do this, or maybe just me, but whenever I try it on, I just really enjoy the way that it feels. I really enjoy the speckled quality of the yarn, so it's not just blue, it's like blue with flecks of pink and orange and yellow and grey, and I really enjoy that. So anyway, that's where we're at. So I think I'd like a few more centimeters here and then I'll be ready to join in the underarm. I tend to like my sleeves just a little bit like here. That's my perfect length sleeve there, where I can hold on to it so that if it's cold I can just smush my hands in like this. So I think we're very close to being done with this sleeve now. So yeah, that's my progress on the Whisk Jumper. And my final whip. Now, if you saw the little update I did last week, so I've been in Cyprus the last 7 days, but just before I left, I was talking about a project that I wanted to take with me. So a project that I was able to knit on the plane, and then something that I was able to sit and have meaningful conversations with people and work on quietly in the background. So preferably something with lots of stocking stitch, something that I could do without looking or without needing to count all the time. And I decided that the perfect project for that would be the Eva cardigan by PetiteKnit. Let me show you a picture, which is this one. So the recommended yarn for this one is PetiteKnit, which is 100% wool. I've chosen not to knit it in PetiteKnit and actually not to knit it in wool either. I am making it in Berger de France Eco Cotton, which is, e-cotton, Ute, which is 50% recycled cotton and 50% recycled acrylic, I think. It's double knit weight. It's meant to be knit on 3.5mm needles, so I was a little bit worried about gauge, but actually it's been coming out fine. My gauge is fine. This yarn I purchased as part of, so Berger de France had a huge sale. I think it was about 8 or 10 years ago. It was not long after my son was born, and he's about to turn 10. So it was in that period of time where he was very, very little. So that's how I can remember it. But either way, they had a huge website sale, and I bought a lot of the Berger de France yarn, and this was amongst it. So I bought 10 balls of this, and I think they're 50-gram balls. I can't see. Yes, they are 50-gram balls, 130 meters per ball. It's just it's a thinner DK weight yarn. But I really liked the colour. I think it's quite nice, and I thought it would be really good for the Eva cardigan. So I cast this on whilst I was on the plane, and let me just get it straight. And so far I have managed to complete the back yoke and both sleeves here. They're both done, and I have joined under the arms. So I've done a couple centimetres. Oh, it looks like I've left it halfway through a row, which is unusual. I never do that. So yeah, I'm really pleased with the way it's looking. The fit is great, and I thought having a cotton cardigan would be great for you know, just throwing on over dresses or over skirts or jeans. I mean, I live in the UK, and much as I love the idea of having a crochet dress or skirt, or, you know, of all the beautiful summer knits that I see, the reality is we rarely have weather good enough to get good use out of it. Now, we do have nice weather, don't get me wrong, and we might have nice weather for a week or more, but then it rains. And generally in the summer it rains more than it is sunny, and it stays wet. So I thought having a lovely cotton cardigan would be the perfect accessory to go with my sort of summer knits. So that's what my thought process was with this one. I'm really enjoying the way that it's working up. I think I'm not used to knitting. I've knit a few things with cotton yarn before, but not a huge amount. Just a few jumpers and cardigans and things for my children. So I tend to make cardigans, if I'm making it when they were babies, if they were sort of 6 months over the summer, I would make a 6 to 9 month cardigan in cotton, and then I would make the 9 to 12 month one in wool, because it would be right for the season. Does that make sense? Am I just garbling about nothing? No. But either way, I've knit with cotton before, but not really anything for myself, and not for a long time. So it's definitely a different experience, because it's more, it's not as flexible, I think, is probably what I'm trying to say, as yarn, where as wool yarn, that, you know, you can bend and pull. But let me just see if I can get to the end of this row, and I will try it on for you. What I've done so far, which is here. Okay, so it's always really hard to tell how something is going to look when it's in stocking stitch, because the edges all curl in. But I think it's going to have a double knit button band, and the button band is quite chunky on this one, so I think it's going to have a lot more it's going to meet in the middle. And also I think the needle I've got it on is just a little bit too small. It doesn't quite wrap all the way around my body. I think this is a 100-meter needle, and I really probably ought to have it on 120, but there. So I will have a bit more space once the button band goes on. But you can see it has this lovely detail here to pick up the shoulders. The sleeves are set in beautifully here. So I have completed both sleeves, and I did that quite quickly after I attached everything because I didn't want to be knitting the sleeves on the flight. So they are complete. Yeah, and so they will, what I do know about knitting with cotton is that once you give it a bit of steam or a bit of blocking, the stitches relax beautifully and they sort of set into place. So yeah, that's the progress I've made so far. Not a huge amount past the underarm, only a couple of centimetres, but that's fine. So yeah, that is my progress on the Eva cardigan. I am feeling a little bit like I have too many projects on my needles now, so I don't mind having a couple, and I like having something more intricate like the Dagmar and something that is more simple like the Whisk, and I like having something small and something portable that I can take around with me. But I am feeling a little bit like I have too many projects on my needles at the moment. So I have 3 adult size, as in projects for myself, and I again feel like perhaps that's a little bit on the needy side as well. So I also have an Oslo hat for my son that is not quite finished. I'm not far off, but I think I just need to get this one done now. And I think I lost motivation when I started the socks, but this will be the perfect gift for him at Christmas time. This is his favourite colour. It's a really lovely hat pattern. So yeah, so I have an Oslo hat that I need to finish. I have a pair of socks, which I don't mind that. Probably don't need the Oslo hat and the socks though. So I have the 2 small portable projects. I have the Eva cardigan. I have the Whisk, I keep saying Wisp, but it's Whisk. I have the Whisk sweatshirt. I have the Dagmar, and it just feels like I have a lot of big things on my needles at the moment, so I do need to clear them. I do think, oh goodness, I've taken off, knocked all that. I always end up doing that when I try things on. Should have put a needle stopper on the end. So I do try and keep my projects to a minimum, and I do think that once now I'm on the main body, which is just stocking stitch back and forth, this will fly by. Let me just make sure I haven't done it at the other end as well. Yes, I have taken 1 stitch off. Okay, so I do think the Eva cardigan will fly by once now I'm on just the back and forth stocking stitch, and I can't wait. I'm really excited to go shopping for some buttons. I think maybe some nice wooden ones would look good, or like a creamy colour. Not sure, but that will be something exciting to look forward to. So I haven't weaved in. I tend to weave the ends in as I go along as well, but I did not enjoy using the plastic needle at all, and I'm really sorry, Knit Pro, it's a no from me. So in future, I think I will be taking metal needles, tapestry needle away with me when I go. I've never been stopped for having a metal tapestry needle, and I think they are far superior to the plastic ones. So I will definitely be taking a plastic needle away with me again. But the rest, in terms of going away, the rest of the kit that I put together that I showed in my last video was very successful. So it was this one and this one. I didn't get stopped for having anything. The thread cutter went through absolutely fine, and I did use it quite a few times. The stitch markers were ample. I didn't need any more. They were perfect for what I needed. I did use the end stoppers. I did use quite a few of the different cables. I used different sizes at different points in the project, and I did use all the different sized needles as well. Like I said, as soon as I got home, I did change back to my Nova needles because I just prefer them. So, but that little kit was perfect. It was absolutely perfect for what I needed, and would definitely recommend checking that video out if you haven't seen it already. But yeah, if you're going away taking something similar, I didn't get stopped or questioned in either Bristol or Larnaca airport. So I think that's about it for today's podcast. I will continue to knit. I will probably need to get the socks done because my husband's birthday is yesterday and I haven't got them to him yet. So that needs to be a priority. I mean, he's a patient man. He knows that they are his birthday present, and he knows I will prioritise making those for him. But even so, I think I would like to work on them to show him that I'm working on them. So I will probably try and prioritise getting the socks done this week. And I will probably... Oh, I don't know. See, I want them all done, but I think I will probably work on the Eva cardigan because I think I'll get the most use out of this in the summer months, in the warmer weather. But yeah, I don't have any plans to cast on anything new this week. That's not to say that I won't, because I can be a bit of a monkey for casting on when the moment strikes. And I think once I get the idea for something in my head, it's quite hard for me to resist not doing it. Sometimes it drives my husband a bit nuts. He's like, God, how many projects have you got on the go? But I know I will finish them all. I always do. So I'm not worried about that particularly. So yeah, I've got to get the socks done. That's a priority. The Dagmar, I don't feel a rush to get the Dagmar done because really I want it done. In my mind, I've got September because that's when the weather here starts, it just starts to turn. So I would like it to be ready for September when I need it. And we're at June at the moment, so July, August, September. I've got 3 months for that. I've got plenty of time and I really hope it will be done before then. But I'm just really enjoying knitting on it in the meantime. It's a really enjoyable project. So either way, I think that's everything that I wanted to discuss for this podcast. Please do hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell so that you are made aware every time I post a video. If there's anything that you'd like to see or say, or any comments, please do leave them in the comments below. I absolutely love to hear from you. It really absolutely makes my day. So yeah, it's lovely to reach out to other knitters in the UK, well, specifically in the UK, but the gorgeous thing about YouTube is that I can connect to other knitters wherever you are. So please do leave me a comment, a like and subscribe. That would just mean the world to me, and I will see you next time.